Hello and welcome to another 4th level fighter live play. We are back with more Vaesen from Free League Publishing. Today we're going to continue on our adventure path that we've been taking with Franz and Imogen, and we are going to take on an adventure that well, these guys know what it's called. It's called the Night Sow, which the title of the adventure kind of gives away what's going on. I hate when that happens, but I don't have to tell them it's called the Night Sow, but I'm telling them because I'm telling you so that those that are watching it know what we're running in case you are looking to run this or have run it, or if you are going to be a player in this game, there's going to be spoilers obviously because we're going to play the adventure, so just be forewarned. Anyway, the last time we got together, Imogen and Franz went through the was it the Wicked Secret adventure, I believe. Imogen, can you kind of give us just a quick rundown of sort of what happened in that adventure? Like, what were the highlights for you?
Right, so I believe we went to this sort of small town, village area.
In the north of Sweden, I think it was.
And there was some dispute over selling land, and specifically the land of a church that they were trying to sell, but other people didn't want to sell the land, and it was a whole argument over that. And the Vaesen that we encountered was the church grim, which was a large cat. And we also had to, there was a cult involved as well, and we had to sort of stop this cult, and the cult leader specifically, from using the church grim to do harm to other people, and there was a sacrifice involved. So we just had to put an end to that.
So it sounds like you had a good time with that adventure?
Oh, well, I did, yes.
Excellent. And Franz, how about you? Any comments on the last adventure, the A Wicked Secret, from the book A Wicked Secret and Other Mysteries?
Well, no. I think Imogen summed up our expedition quite well and covered most of what happened.
Excellent. Well, today's going to be much of the same, although there's always going to be some differences. So again, just to give people a little heads up about what we're doing, Vaesen is a game set in 19th century Sweden. It's basically a Gothic horror game. If you've played Call of Cthulhu, it would be very much like Call of Cthulhu, only in Sweden and a generation earlier. The Vaesen, which we think that's how it's pronounced. I've heard it Vaesen, Vaesen, and Vesen. I think Vaesen is close enough. That's what I'm going to call it. They are supernatural creatures, and not everyone can see them, only those that have what's called the sight. And the two of you have the sight because you're able to see these Vaesen. For other people, it might be like a strong breeze or the flickering of a lamp, but you would see some creature running through the room or passing its hand through the fire or different things like that. So you see more than what normal people see because you have the sight. And because of that, you almost feel a compulsion to try and help out where necessary. Now, you know that before industrialization in Sweden, the people that worked the land worked hand in hand with the Vaesen. There was a friendly relationship. But since industrialization, the forests have been chopped down and pollution has run rampant, and strip mining, and the land has suffered, and now the Vaesen have turned and are no longer as friendly as they once were. Every now and then there was a mischievous one, but now it seems like there's much more discontent with the Vaesen and the situation, and they are making it known. So before we get started, you can choose an advantage, and in the book, there's a couple ways to do this. It says, before you get started, pick a skill that you will have kind of trained for this one session, and it shouldn't be the same one that you used in the last session. We've also played a game where you just get a +2 to any one skill once per session. Do you guys have a skill in mind, or do you want to just kind of pocket that +2 and use it when needed? What would be more fun for you?
Well, for me, I think I'm gonna just wait until I need something, because I think last time I chose something and I didn't use it.
Didn't use it, right? And that's the downside. It's kind of a risk and reward, and I felt bad because I'm like, well, Imogen didn't get to use something that she thought she would focus on, and maybe that gives you a chance to keep in the back of your mind, hey, I want to use this skill, but at the same time, we're here to have fun more than anything. So I'm fine if you just want to pocket a +2, but when you go to use it, and it'll be your responsibility to know when you're going to use it, I might have you do like a quick little 30-second flashback of what you did in the days leading up to the adventure that might have given you this advantage, whether it was someone you spoke with or something you read in a book or some specific exercise that you did. What do you think, Franz, as far as this goes?
Well, Franz is going to clean out his rifle and get it squeaky clean so that perhaps he will have a plus on ranged combat.
Yeah, you could have a +2 once per session, or per this session on that, and then of course you couldn't use that same skill the next time. So maybe we'll try that. So Imogen, you just get a +2 when you see fit, and Franz, you can go ahead and take that +2 on your ranged combat skill when you want to use that. And if you don't use it, it doesn't carry over. It's just the way it goes. You guys had some upgrades to your characters because of experience points, and we addressed that last time. So again, XP is handed out at the end, and there's no levels like some other games. In this one, you just improve your skills, and it takes 5 XP to improve your skill one step, or to add a new talent. You can do that as well. One of the things that maybe we can focus on in this, and I'm going to pull up the character sheet for those watching at home, but there's a thing called the Dark Secret, and those at home can probably see this right now. If you act upon your Dark Secret, or if that affects you, then that can certainly cause an extra experience point to happen, because it kind of forces some role play. Okay, so I think, unless you have any questions or any bits of business before we begin?
I am ready to go.
Okay, one day, are you ready, Franz? I should have asked.
Oh, yes, I'm ready to.
I assumed you were ready. So one day, while you were at Castle Gillenkreutz, you receive a letter. And this letter is, it's not there. It's not addressed to you. It is, let me find it. It is not addressed to you. It is addressed to someone named Lily. But hang on. Let me get this. I'm going to share this with you, as well as I'll read it aloud for us. So I should be able to narrate this. The letter reads as follows. Little Lily, you barely remember me, do you? The years have fluttered by like butterflies, and I shall soon turn 70. But who is counting? I wish the purpose of this letter was to renew our special connection, which I have missed dearly. Lily, I need your help. The situation is very dire indeed, or I would not have had the nerve to contact you. I assume that you are still living in Uppsala. Surely you have not abandoned our beloved city. Anyway, I am currently located in Mola, a small fishing village in the south. My friends and I are staying at the Mola Seaside Hotel. You must come and help us, Lily. I can tell you no more than that, for fear that someone else might read this letter. That it must be you of all people has to do with our special secret, our way of seeing things, which brought us together all those years ago. Bring all the weapons, tools, and strange items you can find. Anything might prove useful. Until then, my friends and I are stuck at the hotel. This is a mess of our own making. But nevertheless, despite everything, I ask for your help. Love, your, hopefully, dearest Olga. So this letter was not addressed to you, but it sounds like someone needs help. Now, do you recall who Lily might be? We barely touched on this. I haven't really played into this part of Vaesen.
I have no idea who Lily is.
Okay, so Lily is probably referring to Linnea, she was an old lady we talked about in the very first time we played this, and she is like the last member of the society, which is the organization that is kind of seeking out Vaesen. People that have the site belong to the society. And so this was probably addressed to her. And the last you heard, she's in an insane asylum, just unable to deal with having the sight at this point in her life. And so you might feel compelled to help out this Olga because she needs someone with the sight to help, and the only one she knew that had it is not available. So what do you propose to do?
Well, I think we should go out to wherever Olga is and try to help her.
Excellent. Otherwise, we don't have an adventure. This would be really quick.
Great.
So, what about you, Franz? What do you think?
Oh, yes, I think that a malicious Vaesen might be at play here, and I would be quick to see it dealt with.
Yeah, so it sounds like they need someone with the sight to go down to this small fishing village of Mola. Olga and her friends need help. And it sounds like there's maybe trouble in town because she's afraid someone else might see this letter, so she's kind of kept it encoded and secret. So clearly not as all well in Mola. So you've got a location, Mola. You've got someone to go find, Olga, and she's staying at the Mola Seaside Hotel. Do you want to send a letter and let her know that you're on your way? Do you want to do any sort of research into the town, or maybe what's transpiring there? What do you think?
Well, Imogen, how about I draft a letter while you do some research?
Sure. I would love to research what kind of the history of the town, or what kind of Vaesen might be there.
And I will draft a letter letting her know that we will make haste to arrive and aid Olga in whatever way we might be able to.
Okay, you write a letter and say that you are on your way. You know it will take several days to get there, but you'll also need a few days to prepare, so the letter should precede you. Maybe you say, we're going to leave tomorrow or something. So, meet us tomorrow at the train station or stagecoach station or what have you. And you get that sent off. Now, Imogen, you will need to make a learning roll to see what you can discover about some of these things that you've heard about Mola specifically and whatnot.
Okay, not very good.
Hang on, before we do that, let me just make sure. Do you have conditions? Oh yeah, let's clear out your conditions here.
That would help.
Yeah, these don't carry over from last time. I'll let you get rid of that last one there as well. You can do that as well, Franz, because I'm like, you should have more than one. So your learning is 0, but your logic is 3, so you should roll 3. And I'm actually going to give you a +1 bonus to this.
Well, I've already cleared out my conditions. I was well rested from our last adventure.
Oh, much better, much better. You find a newspaper clipping, and let me find this clipping. Oh no, not here. And I will send this to you. Oh, let's see. Okay, you find a newspaper clipping. It says, "Protests at Seaside Hotel. Local protests in southern Sweden. Locals outside the Mola Seaside Hotel have become more vocal over the past several days. City elders have called for a general boycott of the establishment, alleging that the proprietor and her guests pose a bad influence on the village. Local priest Algot Kransvik has condemned the owner, Katarina Johnson, and called upon her to repent. The village council has, the backing of the priest. This village is founded upon a bedrock of faith and righteous principles," said lighthouse keeper Magnus Lunden. "We hope a peaceful resolution can be made." So what do you think that means, Imogen?
Well, let's see. So the priests, and I guess the townspeople, including the lighthouse keeper, are not a fan of the owner of the hotel. They think her and her guests are are up to something.
Yeah, they're posing a bad influence on the village, and so the city elders, that could be the priest and the lighthouse keeper. Those are the only two mentioned, but it sounds like the city elders would be like the town council, or the people that kind of make all the decisions. But it sounds like they are also in opposition to this business. But this is where Olga is staying, and so clearly the locals are not happy, and they're protesting this hotel, perhaps protesting Olga. You simply don't know. You make the long journey to Mulla. Anything else you want to do before you do that?
No. I think I'm quite ready to go on another expedition after some Vaesen and resolve this issue.
Very well. Early in the morning, you gather at Uppsala train station. The darkness lies heavy on the city, but the snow reflects the light from the station's gas lamps and illuminates the area around you. When the train rolls in its cars that is covered with snow, and upon boarding you find that the compartments are not even heated. The only refuge from the cold is the dining car, and virtually all the passengers gather there. A count by the name of Christian Graneth purchases the train's entire stock of punch and generously offers it free of charge. After a couple of hours, the mood turns merry. Someone takes out an accordion, and people spontaneously start to dance between the tables until the conductor finally has had enough and silences the car by dropping a silver platter on the floor and announcing that music may only be played in the rear cars where the animals are kept. In the afternoon, you reach the town of Helsingborg in southern Sweden. It is getting dark, and there is a sleepy atmosphere in the dining car. After disembarking at the Helsingborg train station, you learn that your connection to Höganäs is more than an hour late. You pass the time wandering through the empty streets of the city. Freezing gales sweep in from the sea and make their way through your clothes. Once you finally get moving, you are more than a little late. An old steam locomotive pulls the cars along the coast, up the slopes of the hill, and finally arrives in Höganäs. From here you travel by stagecoach through the spectacular landscape, which you can barely glimpse through the impenetrable darkness. You reach the station south of Mulla, tired, hungry, and cold, and very late. The coachman drops you off at a place marked with a black painted post. Olga is nowhere to be seen, and soon your clothes are covered by the falling snow. Olga was to wait for you here, but the hour is drawn late. As you head into town, into the village, to get away from the cold, you stumble upon this scene.
Oh, okay.
Around a corner you see an oil lamp burning on the ground. A couple of meters away lies the lifeless body. Something has cut her open, from her groin to her chest, and fed upon her entrails. You must both make a fear test. So that's empathy or logic. You need one success.
So is this Olga then?
Very possible. You may have to investigate the body to find out. Okay, so Franz passes his fear test. He has seen dead bodies before.
Yes, this is nothing compared to what I've seen on the battlefield.
Yikes.
Imogen, you are going to take a condition, a mental condition.
Alright, I'll do frightened.
Frightened, that would make perfect sense.
Imogen, get a hold of yourself.
And you probably step back and begin to tremble, not just from the cold, but from this horrible scene. Franz, give me an investigation roll. In fact, I'll let you help, so you can have a +1 to that, although your help is not.
Very well.
And recall if you have any talents or any gear that might aid any of your skills. Make sure that you guys read up on those so you are prepared. No successes. Do you want to push that roll? If you do, you'll take a condition.
One moment. Yes, I believe I will push that. Investigation. Ah. There we go.
There we go. The body is still warm, and make sure you take a condition, which means a mental condition, which means that Olga was killed no more than half an hour ago. This surely must be her waiting for you here. It appears that the body was opened with a single cut from below by someone with inhuman strength. The wound is irregular and seems to have been made by a large number of sharp objects. Most of the entrails appear to have been eaten by a creature with long and sharp front teeth.
Could I perhaps surmise what type of creature would be able to do such a thing?
Well, that's not going to be easy. You'll need several successes on here. Oh, where did that go? It is possible. You will need to make a... Let's do an investigation roll.
Perhaps with Imogene's assistance?
Sure, you get 1 bonus die on that.
Imogene's quite knowledgeable about this sort of thing. Perhaps she'll know a thing or two.
Definitely.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you managed 2 successes. What exactly was your question again?
I want to surmise what sort of creature would be capable of such a feat.
The snow seems to have covered the tracks of both the victim and the killer, so there's only a few tracks nearby. But as you maybe push away some of the snow carefully, almost like an archaeologist removing a small layer of fine sediment from a dig site, you find what looks to be like a paw print or hoof print, more like it. It looks to be some sort of cloven-hooved animal, quite large, judging by the size of the footprint, and you estimate its weight to be in excess of 600 pounds.
Well, there's no hoofed animal, perhaps a moose or some sort of animal like that, but with cuts like these, I'd have to imagine it was something else, and a moose wouldn't be eating any entrails.
Well, you wouldn't think so, but it's definitely not like a bear or a wolf or a dog's.
Perhaps a wild boar.
Very possible. Very possible. Given that the scenario is called the Night Sow, that's definitely a possibility. So, again, your characters don't know that, but you do. But yes, you think it's very likely going to be some sort of porcine animal, which that means pig.
Well, with this in mind, is there an inn nearby?
Well, there's the Mola Seaside Hotel, where Olga was staying. You can go there, but you also see a light on further down the road, and quite a few people. You can hear the sounds of laughter and voices coming from another, looks like to be a tavern, perhaps not a place where you could sleep, but a place for food and drink. And you see a little sign out front says the Whale Spout Tavern.
Very well. And before we leave this scene, you mentioned that there's no tracks that we could follow here.
No, it would appear that the tracks have been covered up by the falling snow that continues to fall around you.
Well, then perhaps we should report this to the local authorities and then find ourselves a bed for the evening.
Sounds like a plan.
So, are you going to go into the tavern to try and find the authorities, or...
Well, it is evening, you mentioned.
It is.
So I would assume that they would be off duty, perhaps enjoying a meal after a long day's labor.
Most likely. So do you want to go to that tavern?
Indeed, that's where Franz would like to go. Imogen, will you follow?
I have no objections.
I bring you to the Whale Spout Inn. This warm room, as you step in, the heat is almost overwhelming, but just from the cold that you have been experiencing. This warm room is filled with, it looks like the entire village has turned out. The smell of cooked meat, spiced, sugary treats, as well as ample beer greets your nose as you walk in. You notice most of the people here look to be rustic. These are not, city folk from Uppsala that you might be used to. These are rustic fishermen and people accustomed to a harder life. But they seem to be in their element, joyful and happy. As you walk in, all eyes turn to you, and you are met with more than a few glares. Clearly, you are not local here. And your most recent experience in Farna, with the other adventure that we did, you encountered the same thing. It seems like some of these small, distant villages are very untrusting of strangers.
Well, surely they wouldn't be unwelcoming to a retired naval officer. I would fit right in. I'm a seagoer myself.
I'm going to let you make a roll. Go ahead and make a manipulation roll with a bonus of +1 because you are using your seagoing manner. Yeah. So you see, maybe as you walk in, do you limp a little bit, like?
Oh yes, I'll play on one of my old war injuries, and
yeah, you grab your leg, a bit of shrapnel from the war, and stagger in, and
in fact, I'll play on it so much I'll say it was from the horn of a narwhal. While we were sailing on the North Sea, pierced my leg.
Let me send a picture to you. You see two people sitting over at in one table in particular. Why is it? It's just supposed to show you. I don't know why it's asking me to do that. You see two people in particular sitting over at a table, speaking to one another. The gentleman on the right, with his kind of white hair and beard, is wearing the manner of a priest, and perhaps this is the priest from the newspaper clipping, Algot Kransvik. The other looks more stoic and almost as though he is made of granite, very firm and commanding, almost like a naval officer might be. He carries in his hand a walking stick, and he looks to be listening intently to the priest. As you enter in, you are greeted by the proprietor here. His name is Niels Korfitsen, and Niels Korfitsen greets you. "Oh, strangers, friends, please come in. Welcome to the Wellspout Inn, my friends. Pull yourself up a chair here at the bar, or find a table near the fire. Let that snow melt off of you. You have come to the finest inn in all of Mola, the Wellspout Inn."
Yes, Niels, a drink over here. 'Tis mine. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, but of course, and perhaps a half pint for you, miss. And he points at you.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, and he kind of reaches behind the counter, grabs two mugs of ale that have already been filled, picks them up and brings them over to your table. And he kind of bows, "At your service. You'll find no finer hospitality in all of Mola than here at the Wellspout Inn. What brings you on such a blustery evening so late at night into the town?"
Well, we're just investigating the local regions, and well, this town seemed a finer spot than most to stop over, and well, we figured we'd explore the town a bit.
Well, this late at night, I would suggest that you do not dally too much. I'm afraid there's no place to stay in town that has any vacancy. We've no hotels or no other inns that would be suiting of a man and a woman of your stature and bearing.
Well, surely you wouldn't turn away a old naval officer into the cold.
Oh no, that I would not.
But I can certainly pay for a room.
Well, it's not just paying for a room. I haven't the room here. We don't have beds for rent. But perhaps you can speak with the village elders. I'm sure they could arrange something. But as I said, there's no hotels or inns here in Mola. No place to stay.
Oh, well, I was doing some research on this town to see of its history, if we shall come here. I happened upon the mention of a seaside hotel. I was
and at that his face it looks as though he just bit into a lemon. He gets this sour look on his face. Ah, no, your information is outdated, I'm afraid. No, that place is it's not a place where you would want to stay. Trust me. In fact, we advise all travelers to give it a wide berth and not to go near there. And in fact, it's likely soon to be demolished. Unsafe rats. You see, yes, it has rats.
I see. Well, thank you for your help.
Well, of course. Is there anything else that I can possibly do for you?
Well, say, Nils, is there a constable of some sort I could speak with?
Give me an observation roll, Imogene. A constable? Well, you need to speak to the elders. They would be the ones that could give you that information. And he kind of points over in their direction. Do you want to push that roll, Imogene?
Yes, I will.
Okay, you'll take a mental condition. What condition do you take?
I will take hopeless.
Hopeless. Yeah, because now not only are you here late at night, but now it sounds like you got nowhere to stay, and you're at the mercy of the village elders. Yet you know that there's probably nothing wrong with that hotel. So why is he trying to steer you away from it? And maybe that makes you feel like maybe you're not as welcome here in town as perhaps you thought that you were. But he points you over towards the table where the village elders are sitting, and where did I put that? The village elders, right here, and. Oh, stop doing that. You see the village elders, and again they are speaking on friendly terms with one another. You notice that the man on the left is not drinking, and the man on the right has drunk several glasses of wine. Do you approach them?
Well, yes, I will approach them and introduce myself. Officer Almclint at your service. Mind if I speak with you for a moment, good sirs?
And they kind of look at you. They look up and down, sort of taking in your full bearing and presentation. And the gentleman on the right, the old priest, looks at you. Ah, yes. Welcome to our fine town. I am the local father of this congregation. Do you worship the Christian faith?
Why, of course, good sir.
God-fearing folk are always welcome here in Mulla. Now tell me, have you friends here in the village?
Well, no. Just coming through for a stay over. I thought, what a fine little fishing village here. I am, after all, a retired naval officer, and I feel the need to get closer to the water again.
Oh, alas, I'm afraid there's no place here for you to stay. Mayhap I can find a room. I can board you with one of the locals. Surely one of the locals will be more than happy to take you in. Would that be all right?
Yes, this would be most suitable and kind of you, sir.
I'm afraid the accommodation would be but temporary. You might only be able to stay for a day or so. But Anna, and he kind of raises his hand, and a woman, probably in her late 40s, comes over to his table, and she steps up and curtsies before you and says, I am Anna Svensson. A pleasure to meet you. We do not often get travelers into this town. Good Father Kransvik, do you be needing some assistance? And he says, yes. Well, we need a room for these fine folk. Are you father and daughter? Surely she is much younger than you, so you're not man and wife.
Oh, no, more of an assistant of sorts, a companion, if you will.
Ah, companion. This will not do. We do not welcome sin here in this village.
Well, of course not. They are a distant cousin, and I've taken them under my wing as their parents have died, and, well, it was quite morbid, and I figured that I couldn't let them just starve, and so they've become my companion of sorts.
Yes, 'tis true.
Oh, well, that's entirely another matter. Oh, well, of course, if you're caring for family, well, your family here in town, then. Anna, you've a spare room. Your husband is out on one of his fishing expeditions. Surely you can make room for these two. I'm certain that they will help you out with chores around the house that have perhaps gone undone because of your husband's fishing adventures. And will you not let them in? And she kind of looks put out at first, and you can kind of see her having the, oh, should I, shouldn't I?
Well, certainly I could pay a little bit. I wouldn't mind to offer a little compensation for your kindness.
Oh, pay would be very welcome. With my husband out, we've not much money coming in. My poor daughter Lisa helps out in town, and the priest says, and kind of clears his throat and shakes his hand like, quiet you, like don't say anything. Give me an observation roll, both of you.
Can I use my +2 bonus for this?
If you would like to.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 successes. Okay. He is clearly trying to get her to stop saying whatever she was about to say. And he kind of gives her a stern look like, we've talked about this. And she looks at him and her face goes pale, like, and then she says, oh, my daughter just helps out around the house. Yes. And he says, yeah, she'll not be there tonight, will she? And he kind of nods his head, and she nods her head, yes, I'm afraid Anna will be there by herself, so an accompanied gentleman is surely welcome to stay there. Not a gentleman by himself, but if you've got your long-lost cousin with you, that will surely be fine. Perhaps the gentleman can sleep in the daughter's room, and since she is not going to be there, and he nods his head, and she says, oh, yes, she will not be there. And you, he points to Imogen, can of course sleep with Anna. She's a large feather bed that's quite comfortable. And she says, oh, I would welcome the warmth. It's quite cold at night. Yes. Anyway, please have some food, some drink, and be on your way.
And I figured my meal would be ready. Niels, over here, the food is mine. Yes.
Okay.
The other gentleman at the table, the one on the left, kind of clamps his cane on the floor with a little clunk, and he says, welcome to our town. We are but a small fishing village, and surely whatever knowledge you seek or entertainment you seek, you will find tomorrow. We are a welcoming sort in this town, despite what some might say. You are more than welcome here. Just do be cautious and do be careful, because there's some wild beasts have been seen. The winter sometimes brings them out. They get hungry, so it is best you do not wander the streets at night. So perhaps I can accompany you, if you like, to Anna's house. Do not go out on your own. Go with the group. I will be leaving shortly. I'd be happy to take you there.
Certainly, and that brings up something I forgot to mention. While we were coming into this fine town, we found a body that was mutilated by some sort of beast, I surmise, perhaps a boar.
Oh. And you see his whole countenance kind of just deepen and sadden. Oh dear, another. This is the second death we've had in the past 10 days. Will you take me to the body?
Well, certainly on our way to Anna's house, I could show you where we found it.
And he begins to rise and says, "Excuse me a moment. I must gather some of the men from the village, and we will go and find who this was. Please do be cautious. Stay here until I return, and we will see that you can make it to Mrs. Svensson's house unmolested this night. And I am sorry you had to discover such a grisly scene. Now, if you will excuse me," and he rises up from his chair and goes and speaks with Niels and a couple of the other men in the village that are not out on fishing expeditions, and gathers a group. He puts on a little cap on his head and puts his heavy coat on, and they head out into the snowy darkness to go and find Olga's remains. You've got a little bit of time to kill here at the Wellspout Inn. Is there anything that you want to do while you're here?
Well, I will get another drink, perhaps.
Okay.
I want to maybe ask around about any mysterious happenings. Like, clearly this mutilation is something that's, I guess, kind of common.
Yeah, if you want, you could make an investigation roll. I'm going to give you a penalty of 1 dice, just because the people are kind of not helpful. So, not a success. You can push that if you want.
I don't think I will.
Franz would like to go and find a seat at a table and introduce himself and just see if, just ask about these beasts that have been causing trouble for the town.
Give me a manipulation roll as you open up and speak with some of the townsfolk.
Is that with a bonus because I'm succeeded on my manipulation roll and they see me as one of their own?
I don't know as one of their own, but they do have a certain respect for you. I'll give you a bonus.
That was investigation?
Manipulation.
Manipulation.
You speak with some of the townsfolk, and do you mention that Olga has been found murdered?
I'll bring it up, I suppose, in conversation.
Well, the villagers clearly become quite concerned. They mention that the county constable is in Hoganus, is quite far away, and someone will have to go in the morning to take news of what has happened. He will be out to investigate and likely to interrogate anyone. And they warn you, do not leave the village. The county constable will want to speak with you, and it will be held here at the Wellspout. This is where the town meets. This is the only place in town that's welcoming to town members. Many of them get very agitated when they hear about this, and some of them you see start to kind of whisper to each other, and you overhear a few people say, like, something must be done, and kind of pounding their hands into their fist against their palm, and a few of them mention, and you overhear, well, actually give me an observation roll with a penalty of 1 because it's quite loud in here. You see people agitated, but let's see if you can hear what they're saying. Do you want to push that roll?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But do they answer my original question about the beasts?
When you ask about a beast, they kind of look at each other like, beast? No, someone went missing a week and a half ago. There's cliffs, you see, out on the seaside. We live upon a hill, a great hilly rock that pokes out into the ocean, and there's many ravine and cliff from here along the 5-mile trek out to the point, and it would be easy for one to fall into one of those ravines and crevasses and perish. And indeed, there was a woman that has been missing for some time. We fear that has happened to her. There's no beast. This is how rumors are spread. Beast. this woman you saw outside in the snow tonight, you say?
Indeed, yes.
Well, she clearly did not fall. Perhaps she was trampled by a horse and then crawled her way there.
No, I wouldn't think so. Her innards were devoured by something.
No, birds, probably.
Perhaps.
Perhaps it was a great owl that did this to her.
Could have been. You get many out here?
Surely we do. Owls, crows, ravens, the lot of them. Seabirds, seagulls, albatross,
Pelicans. Maybe kestrels?
Oh, no, not really kestrels. Not so much.
Peregrines, perhaps?
No falcons, I'm afraid. Ducks, geese.
Yes. Swans, maybe?
No, shorebirds, surely.
Okay.
Sparrows. Some pigeons, naturally.
Okay.
Alrighty, morning doves, perhaps?
Yes, and that is the exact, precise list of all the birds we have here, no fewer, no less.
Well, very good. Perhaps it was a bird.
It could have been a bird, you see. Anyway, and as you're speaking, going down the list of taxonomy of the avian species in town, the tavern door opens again, and in comes the group that had been sent out, and they've got a kind of a pale grimace on their face, and they come over to you. Yes, and it looks as though the poor lass has expired, and we will send for the constable in the morning. If you've had your fill of drink and food, let us take you to the Svensson's home where you can get some rest tonight.
Most certainly. Sounds like an excellent idea. I've enjoyed the food at this fine establishment, and I'm ready for my bed now.
The Svensson home is not far away. It's just a few houses away. When you get there, and she lets you in and shows you the rooms. She takes you to a room of, looks like maybe a 16, 17-year-old girl's room, and says that you can sleep there that night as her daughter will not be home. And then she takes you to her bedroom and shows you the bed and says, Imogen, you can stay here in this bed. And then she excuses herself for a moment. I need to go and feed the livestock really quickly, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes time. And she bundles herself up and shuts the door. Imogen, give me an observation roll. The house is nice and warm and comfortable. It looks to be the home of a fisherman. Very modest, very humble, but comfortable. And you know that this will be a nice, safe place to stay the night. Do you do anything before turning into bed?
Nothing comes to mind right now, so I think I'll just retire.
And you, Franz?
Oh no, I'm very tired, but I will sleep with one eye open. I don't fully trust the people of this town quite yet.
Very well. Now, you do have some options. So, Imogen, you have some conditions already.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you have some options for how, if you want to try and heal that up tonight, you can. So you can always, once per session, you can use your memento. And you can spend 10-15 minutes kind of quietly with your memento, which I think is a palm stone or a hag stone.
The palm stone.
Palm
yes.
stone that you have. You can do that, and that will help you to recover 2 conditions. You can also, you guys can have a rest scene where you, according to the rules, this is page 71, you describe a scene together with one or several other PCs to recover from 2 conditions once per day. So you guys could kind of, like you did in Farna, you guys kind of talked in the room about what had happened, and you were able to recover some conditions. So you can do that. So those are basically your 2 options for short term. You can do a long term, but it takes a whole day to try and recover some conditions. But this would be one of those 2 if you want to do that now.
Sure, perhaps we could share some tales before we go to bed.
Sure.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what tale you used to try and calm her? Was it frightened and hopeless?
Yes, that's correct.
Emotional state.
So a tale about the day, then, that is?
About it doesn't have to be about the day. It could be something from your past, like, did I ever tell you that time I did this? And just something that's going to try and put her at ease and help her to feel better.
Well, I have many a fisherman's tale.
Oh yes, tell me a sailor's story.
Oh, well, yes, I was sailing up in the North Sea, you see, and, we were very hungry. Ran out of stores, and off the starboard bow there was a narwhal breached the surface.
Oh,
and
really?
So, yes, we got the rigging prepared and pulled the ship around, veered it around, and I harpooned it myself, but in return it gave me a nasty blow to the leg, and that's why you saw me limping tonight. But why would this bring you comfort? Well, you see, it's because you know that you are with a very capable fisherman and very capable person to deal with wild beasts, and so don't let this boar that we believe killed our poor Olga trouble you, for I am very good when it comes to dealing with these sort of things, poor Imogen, and so don't worry yourself.
Well, there you go. That was actually a
yes.
pretty good story. Well done. So you can recover, and you don't have any conditions, Franz, do you?
I believe I have one.
You have one. So you get to recover 2 between the 2 of you. So you could recover one, and you could recover the other Imogen, or Imogen could recover both, or...
I'll recover one, Imogen could recover one.
Perfect.
Very well. And so that leaves, I think, Imogen with 1 condition, and Franz with 0, correct?
Yes.
Indeed.
Excellent. As in the middle of your story, maybe you're sitting in, like you've prepared yourself for bed and you're just kind of talking it over. You hear the woman come in. Her name was Mrs. Svensson comes in and kind of brushes the snow off of her clothes and says, "Oh yes, we'll have a wonderful evening, Anna Svensson. We'll have a wonderful evening tonight, and I'll get you breakfast in the morning. I've got some eggs from the chickens." And we'll have something lovely to set you up for the day. And Franz, give me an observation.
Very well.
Okay. You noticed that when she came in, she had no chicken eggs in her hands. Just maybe a minor point. Maybe she just meant she had them, in the larder. But she mentioned she had gotten chicken eggs, and you just didn't see any in her hands.
Well, what was her last name again? Svensson? Or
Svensson.
Well, Mrs. Svensson, perhaps for your hospitality I could offer a bit of compensation, and I'll give her a few bits of monies to cover our room and board for the evening.
Oh, give me a resource roll. Oh, it was on a success and then rolled up, but that's okay. So you managed to give her the funds.
Just not a lot, but
yeah, you don't give her a significant amount where she might feel like she's indebted to you, but enough that she knows that you appreciate her hospitality and her willingness to take you in on such a stormy night. The next morning, you are awoken to the sound of cooking breakfast. You go down and have a lovely plate of fried eggs, bacon, bread, cheese, milk, honey, honey cakes,
perhaps some hot chocolate,
hot chocolate,
yes.
And I think I said fresh milk,
ham,
perhaps some ham,
some bacon,
maybe some potatoes. Surely there's some kippers, some fish,
yes.
Maybe an apple,
maybe some orange slices,
perhaps some slices of orange.
Some lemon to get rid of the scurvy.
Perhaps to go with your tea. But that's all she has in her larder. Now you've eaten everything she has.
No biscuits?
Nope, I'm afraid she's out of biscuits. She ate them the previous morning and does not have any others.
Okay.
So, you've got the day in Mola. What do you do?
Well,
what have you been sent here to do?
We've been sent here to meet with Olga. And Olga is dead.
She met an untimely end. What else were you sent here to do?
Well, the situation was very dire. She wanted to meet with Lily, but I believe, unbeknownst to her, Lily is no longer sane. but she was in need of help, and that she seemed very paranoid that she didn't want anyone else to read our letter. But she mainly just wanted us to bring weapons and tools, so I'm assuming it had something to do with whatever killed Lily. Excuse me, not Lily, Olga.
I believe she mentioned that she had some friends at the seaside hotel, so maybe they would know more about the situation.
That would be an excellent place to start, Imogen. Very good. Very astute observation of you.
Oh, thank you very much.
So is that where you go first thing in the morning?
Yes, I believe so.
It is a gray and dismal day, and the fog rolling in off the sea makes the light from the whale oil lamp glow a sickly green outside of the Mola Seaside Hotel. Already there are several townsfolk out there protesting, basically calling upon the hotel to repent, to close down, to no longer be a blight upon their town, and the people are evoking all sorts of religious texts and passages, and you get the sense that this is definitely something. This could be what Olga sent the letter about. It could be, this may be part of that. You notice some of the people from the inn last night out here, and a few of them have clubs in their hands.
I'm going to approach the crowd and just hail someone and say, what is this blasphemous place, this den of evil that we have here?
Indeed, a den of evil, says an old fisherman. This place here, this is Satan's very nook, it is. Why, the woman who owns this place has made a pact with the devil. She's sold her soul. I want, as he says that, I want Imogen to make a fear test. Empathy or logic.
Okay.
Well, if it's such an evil place, why haven't the good folks of this town taken it upon themselves to burn it down?
Oh, a man of our own mind. So you managed to avoid any sort of catastrophe, mental breakdown because of what you had just heard him say. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Burn it down. Well, one of us tried, but we were stopped by the lighthouse keeper. He wouldn't let us burn it down. Said that was untowards of a village. If we want to, be a proper village, we don't go burning down things. But we'll run them right out of here. As soon as they step out, we'll have at them.
Yes. Well, perhaps I should. I don't wish to go in there, but perhaps I shall to see and see if I can't get this evildoer to come to their senses and face their punishment.
Oh, the very stink of Satan will be upon you if you set foot in there. Oh, if you do, you'd best go see the priest after for absolution. Be sure that you're cleansed. I, for one, will not set foot in there, nor will my good wife, nor will my children.
Yes, well, you seem like a fine gentleman yourself, but I will risk it for this fine town which I care about so much.
Look, I can see one of them up there in the window. And give me an observation roll, Franz. And you can give me one as well, Imogen. Do you want to push that roll, Imogen?
No.
So, Franz, you see a shadowy shape pass around one of the windows up on the second floor. And then you see the curtains drawn, as though they were peeking out and then quickly shut the curtains. And the townsfolk are all pointing up at the window, and a few of them are throwing stones, not hard enough to break the glass, but just to harass whoever is in there.
I'll say, it's the devil himself in there.
It is! It's old Cloven Hoof, I forget what they call him, himself, old Satan. No, this place is a den of evil. The sea, come and take it and wash it away.
Well, I'm going to go in there and see if I can't bring these evildoers to justice.
Many of them begin making the sign of the cross, and some are giving the older sign, the warding eye, to ward off the evil eye, as you go to set foot inside the Seaside Hotel.
All right, I will head in.
Do you go in as well, Imogene?
Yes, I will follow.
A few of them cry out, "No, young lady, no! It's too evil, too corrupt. Don't look them in the eye. They'll take your soul straight to the devil. They will."
Yes, Imogen, you must avert your gaze and keep it on the ground.
But if you get up on towards the door, you notice none of them will approach you, because they don't even dare set foot on the threshold of this hotel from hell. And it looks like a nice hotel. So it's really nice inside. In fact, when the door opens up, it's like super fancy. It's like a modern bed and breakfast. Like a bunch of grandmas lived there. You know, there's flowers and fancy wallpaper, which would be unheard of in a town like this. You know, beautiful woodwork, and it looks like it's been kept up very nicely. Like if there wasn't a crowd of people out saying this was Satan's hovel, you would think this was a really nice place. Like this would be a nice place in Uppsala for you to visit. You walk in and you are greeted by a young woman. Do I have a picture? Right here. Greeted by a young woman.
The daughter of our patron.
Well, you obviously don't know that. Yeah, greeted by a young woman who looks remarkably a lot like the woman whose home you stayed at. And she says, "Yes, my name is Lisa. Welcome to the Mola Seaside Hotel. Are you here to spend the night or the day or any money at all?"
Well, actually, we came to visit I guess an acquaintance of ours, Olga. She yes,
bursts into tears.
I'm very sorry.
Begins to cry. She left last night and said she had an urgent errand to run and she's not returned. She's not come back to her room.
Yes, well, unfortunately, she was supposed to meet with us. You see, she sent a letter urging help. Something she was very scared about. She wanted help, and she mentioned in the letter that she had friends staying at this hotel, and we thought maybe they could help us.
And you see this young girl's eyes kind of turn and look up to the second floor. Yes, she has friends here, the three artists, although their artwork is not very good.
Oh.
Shall I call them down?
But first, draw the curtains on the lower level. We wouldn't want these folk to see us communing with you, as they would then turn on us, and that would not be very useful.
She goes and opens the curtains, and you hear people shouting, "Ah, there she is! No, it's just Lisa." And they kind of keep looking up at the second floor window. She heads up the stairs. Do you follow her, or do you wait for her to bring the people down?
I will wait in the dining room.
Very well. You wait in the dining room. What about you, Imogene?
Yes, I think it would be more polite.
If you waited?
Yeah.
Okay. You wait, and pretty quick, 3 girls come down. And they look rather stern and like probably 18, 19 years old. They look almost identical. They're all dressed in black. They have this kind of serious look on their face. One of them looks kind of terrified. The one on the right, you see. They look like they could almost be related, almost be sisters, but there's enough of a difference that you can tell that they are not. However, they carry an air of blackness and darkness, and they kind of stroll into the dining room. "Ah, so you're here to do what exactly?"
Well, we received Olga's letter.
"Where is she?"
Well, Olga, unfortunately, has perished, killed by some horrible beast.
And they all just start sobbing almost uncontrollably. I told you, I knew this would happen, I told you." And they're just kind of trying to console each other. They're very upset. Imogene, give me an observation roll. You want to push that?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So you'll take a condition, but you pass. You notice that whatever angry sort of attitude they seem to have when they came in, you sense it's just an act. You're a young woman yourself. You know how it is. You try and be brave, be edgy, and put on whatever sort of airs, but deep down they're just frightened girls. And not unlike yourself at times. And so you maybe empathize a little bit with them.
So, why do all the townsfolk seem to think you've made a pact with the devil?
Devil, you say? No, we are artists. We came here to paint the seascape.
Do I know if they're telling the truth here?
What do you think?
Well, could I roll for insight? Something of the sort.
Well, just tell me first, do you think that they're telling the truth?
Perhaps part of the truth.
Yeah, you think that is correct. There's perhaps part of the truth. If you want to try and get it out of them, you can tell me what you do and make a manipulation roll.
I will say, I need to know the whole truth if I'm able to help you. We are, of course, me and Imogen, members of the society, if you know what that means, and, well, we would see that Olga's friends were helped out of trouble and that there would be no more trouble in this town here.
Give me a manipulation roll. Excellent. They kind of look at each other and kind of shake their head no, yeah, and then they nod at yes, maybe. And they say, one of them introduces herself as Josephine. She stutters a little bit and blushes quite easily. She's the girl on the left in that image. She looks at you and says, "Sir, you must get us out of the village. The townsfolk, if we leave the hotel, I fear for our lives. We've thought about making a run for it, but there's always someone out there watching. Can you bring the priest in here? We need to speak with him."
I'm sure that could be arranged.
Thank you, sir. Please, bring him quickly. And do you have anything to add, Imogen?
Perhaps while we're here we could see some of this artwork of yours. I'm very interested.
Oh, yes, of course. And they, please, come up to our salon, they pronounce it, the fancy French word. And you go upstairs into their room. It's actually quite a large room, like a suite in this hotel. And they've got easels set up, and they've got a few paintings. Some are finished, and some are in various states of completion. Give me a learning roll. You can give me one as well, Franz.
I don't think I'll follow them up. I think I'll remain down there.
Drat.
Well, this is not great art. You're like, well, that's not bad. I mean, it looks like an ocean, but this is not anything remarkable at all. If these ladies are artists, they're probably starving artists.
Right.
You do notice their room is, it doesn't look like a room of artists. In fact, there's a lot of black everywhere. They've got like black blankets, and they've covered, like there was a mirror on the wall, they've covered it with a black cloth. There's various candles set out around the room, even though there's a perfectly fine oil lamp in the room as well.
Well, I can see you're all a big fan of black.
Yes. Black is the absence of any color, and we wear black so that the color can come out in our art. Rather than self-expression through our clothes, we choose to use it through our art. And the other one said, yes, great answer.
True artists, then.
Yes, indeed. We follow the precepts of modern masterpieces. And the other ones look at each other. Oh, great answer. Yes, modern masterpieces.
Right. So, I'm getting the feeling they're not exactly being honest.
Just judging by their artwork, you think they're probably pretending to be artists and maybe not necessarily artists
Right.
for real. They ask you about Olga, about what happened to her. The man mentioned that Olga had met an untimely end. Please, what happened to her?
Well, yes, we were supposed to be meeting at the train station, and when Olga failed to appear, we decided to go into town, and there we came upon the expired body of Olga. It seemed that all her internal organs had been ripped out, and you see she was laying in a pool of her own blood.
They turn absolutely white at the mention of that, and Josephine just starts to shake her head. No. I'm going to go get the priest now. And she leaves, and you hear her scampering down the stairs, and the other two are like, no, don't leave. And she heads out towards the back door, and as you stand up as a woman enters the room, she blows past you and towards the back door and out the door.
So rude. The youth these days.
Yeah, true.
Right. Well, what is this all about? What is wrong with her?
Can you keep a secret?
Oh, of course I can.
We've done something terrible. Olga, Josephine, myself, and my other sister here, we are not artists. No,
You don't say.
No, it was a clever ruse, but you've seen
yes.
right through it. We are not artists. We call ourselves the Sisters of Satan.
I see.
And we come here to express ourselves through magical arts. And we sought to gain knowledge. And instead we unleashed a terrible evil on this town. I can't believe we've done such a thing. We must speak with the priest that it can be rectified. Perhaps Olga's death is the price we've had to pay for this. Such a terrible loss.
So you're saying this thing that you unleashed, perhaps it has killed Olga, you think?
Yes, I fear it has. There was a place out on the hill, just between here and the lighthouse. There's many rocks and crags and caves and ravines, and we found a place, and there we set about to perform a ritual, and this unholy beast was released, a thing of smoke and brimstone, shadow and foulness. It did not obey our commands, and we've done terrible things. Surely we will be thrown in jail for what we've done.
Well, me and my companion are here to help you. We will do anything that we can to set this right.
Well, the townspeople won't let us leave. I hope Josephine is okay. If they catch her, they'll kill her. I know it. Downstairs, Franz, after she runs out the back door, it's not 30 seconds, and you hear a shrieking, howling wail. It sounds like a young girl screaming, and it's suddenly cut short, and then it's quiet outside.
So I think Josephine might have just died.
I will head out and see what the cause of this ruckus was.
You go out and stumble upon Josephine's body. You do not need to make a fear save. You've already seen a body that looks like this, that has been very badly wounded. It's a grisly business. Very, very bloody. Again, you see those hoof prints around, and it looks as though her liver and a large portion of her intestines have been ripped free from her body, and judging by the little bits and pieces lying around, have probably been consumed.
Well, if I Looking in the direction the tracks ran off, it couldn't have been more than a few seconds ago. Can I spot some creature barreling back into the woods?
Yeah, give me an observation. Actually, give me a vigilance roll. You find tracks that run to and fro, but they run out towards a road that has quite a bit of foot traffic and wagon traffic, and the tracks kind of get muddled and mixed in with all the other tracks.
Well, I will head around to the front of the inn, and I will ask the people where the priest is at.
Oh, he's at the church. Where else would he be?
Oh, well, you
Darn
never know.
fool.
I must go and speak with him now.
Do
Carry on.
Do you wait for Imogene?
Perhaps I will go back and up the stairs. I suppose what the damage has been done has already been done, so I might as well get Imogene. And explain that one of the little miscreants ran out before I could stop them. I made a great effort, but it was to no avail, and they ran out and were killed by this beast. And I could not spot it by the time I got out there. The beast had already ran off, and I could not track it.
So now where to?
Well, Imogene, I suppose we ought to take care of this as soon as possible before anyone else is harmed by this beast, and we should go and speak with the priest.
Of course. Let us make haste.
Let us go.
So to the church?
Yes, indeed.
The church is overgrown. The cemetery is littered with fallen leaves. Has not been properly cleaned in some time. There is a light on in the church, and the door is not locked. And as you approach the church, you are met with this scene. Oops. This man running towards you. Repent! Repent! I say, you must repent, all of the town. I will rid this town of evil as a servant of the one true God. And he coughs a bit. You must repent, I call upon you, sinner. And he points at you. You went inside that den of iniquity. You must be cleansed by fire if must be.
Indeed, but I withstood the evil inside, and now I call upon you to do your duty and come with me to see that we might get rid of it once and for all.
That is the speech of the devil! And he begins to fall upon you with fists. He is going to attack you. So let's just pull out some tokens.
Well, this old priest has obviously gone insane, and he will soon meet his match.
Are you there, Imogene, as well?
Yes, I went with Franz.
Alright, I'll roll for everyone's initiative. We will begin combat, and the priest will go first. So, the priest is going to come at you with fists. Just get this up here. And he will wail upon you with, where is it? He doesn't have a weapon. With force, since he doesn't have a weapon, so right there. And he is not successful.
He's a very frail old
Very
man.
frail, but he's swinging punches at you. Imogene, your turn.
Okay. Let's let's see. Maybe I'll try to reason with him, right? So, get a grip, man. This creature's out, and it's going to kill the whole village if we don't do something about it. Come to your senses.
Give me a manipulation roll. You want to push that?
Yes, I will.
There we go.
Would that be a mental condition as well?
That would be another mental condition.
Okay, I have 3 at the
Three.
moment.
So one more, you are mentally broken.
Okay.
As you chastise him for his sudden outburst, he kind of falls into Franz's arms, and you hear him panting heavily, breathing heavily, as though he's just been overcome with the emotional toll and burden of what's been going on in town. Franz, it's your turn if you want to do anything. It seems like the fight is going out of him.
I will just subdue him and until he's calmed down.
Are you going to subdue him with your rifle butt or with your fists?
No, I think I'll just pin him down while he calms himself.
Make a force roll. I'm going to give him a... you get a slow action, which would be like to attack, and you also get a fast action, which would be to parry or dodge. And so he's going to try to dodge your...
Do I get a bonus because the fight's going out of him?
Yeah, I'll give you a bonus of 1. And you got 1 success. He got no successes, so that takes effect. He had 1 hit point, so now he's at 0, so basically the fight's out of him. So you managed to subdue him. Now what do you do?
I will tell him. There's a terrible beast that killed one of the people staying at the seaside inn. Just recently it's killed one of them, and the other 2 were quite frightened, and they've asked for you to come and see that what they've done is undone. And that is your duty, and if you cannot do it, then I will have to relieve you of it.
Oh, I can do it. I can do it. And you smell the stink of alcohol on his breath as he breathes into your face. I can do it. And you know he's probably been drinking to try and combat his nervousness over what has happened. Take me there. I'm an old man. Let me lean upon you for strength. We will see this through.
Ah, well, certainly, but I can hardly carry myself with the old injury. Imogen, come here and give the man a hand.
So, are you going to help him?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Both of you make a vigilance roll.
It was a lot of dice just rolled.
Yep, 1 success. So you need to try and beat 1 success. Okay, so as you leave the church grounds, the skies darken almost instantly. And dark, thick clouds roll in from the sea. You hear the crackling drumbeat of distant thunder getting closer and closer. A few flashes of lightning up in the clouds as this storm suddenly comes over the village. This almost seems like a hurricane suddenly has appeared on the village. Now, Franz, you recognize that this is not natural. This is a supernatural occurrence. That this storm is not naturally occurring, but that someone has caused this to happen, has brought this upon the village. As though someone is using an enchantment.
Indeed. I will, seeing as Imogen is the more resourceful one when it comes to these matters, I will say, Imogen, this storm is not natural. It seems that as though it has been brought about by someone. Perhaps an enchantment of some sort. What do you make of it? As you are much more knowledgeable about the superstitious and the occult.
Well, perhaps those sisters, they seem to have been practicing in these sorts of enchantment type things. Perhaps it is their doing, or perhaps it is the doing of the creature that they have summoned.
Indeed. Well, perhaps we should get this priest there quickly.
Yes, very quickly.
As you get the priest back to the Mola Seaside Hotel, the people are still out there, and now you see that they are worked up in a frenzy at this storm. It's the devil! It's the devil himself, I says! And then they begin kind of almost holding each other back as some of them want to rush towards there. You see torches in hands now as they're prepared to burn this down, knowing that the devil has visited their town. Both of you give me another vigilance roll. So 1 success. You need to be 2 successes. Imogen got no successes, and
Franz got
Franz
one.
got 1 success. Okay. You both look at the villagers, and as you're looking at them, you see one of them. It's Niels, the man that owns the Wellspout Tavern. He's looking at you, and there's a flash of lightning. And for a moment, you see his eyes like 2 red coals, and his nose, like in that flash of lightning, a pig's snout, and great tusks rising up along the side of his face as he grins at you. And as the lightning flash ends, the scene is gone.
So I say we take out Nils.
Yes. Well, perhaps we should get this priest inside first, so we're not carrying him around, and then we will see to it that Niels is dealt with if he truly is the evil perpetrator behind this.
Alright, let's do it.
So as the priest steps onto the planking on the front porch of this building, he cries out, "Oh!" as though struck with pain, and then he stands up straighter. "By the power of the Lord, I will cleanse this place." And the people begin to cheer. And then he says, "We shall not cleanse it with fire from without, but with fire from within." And he staggers through the front door, and you hear a crashing as he stumbles into one of the little tables with wine glasses and knocks it over and the shattering of glass. You hear a cry from inside. Do you follow him into the building?
Yes, I will.
What about you?
I will follow as well.
Okay, so you both go into the building. Even though the townspeople might burn this down any second now, you both run in there.
Oh, how about this? I will stay in the doorway.
Okay. You stay in the doorway. Are you trying to keep an eye on Nils?
I will just see what he's up to, but I'll just keep a vigilant eye in the doorway, make sure that Imogen is alright in here, and that the townsfolk aren't made into a frenzy and burn the building down.
Well, give me another vigilance roll. Okay, you see Niels is still in the crowd. He doesn't have those pig-like features anymore. He's still there, but he's smiling. The other people here seem to be angry and frightened. He seems to be smiling a little bit, as though he's kind of enjoying this. Why that could be, you are uncertain. Inside, Imogen, the priest goes in, and the remaining 2 sisters of Satan are standing on the stairs. One of them is at the midpoint of the stairs, one is at the bottom, and she actually goes to help the priest up, and he swings his hand, "Get away from me, foul seed of Satan!" And she runs, takes a few steps away from him, and he says, "You will die just like the rest," and she bolts out the back door.
Can I try to stop her?
You can. So give me a force roll to try and stop her. Oh, 2 successes. Let me see what she gets on her force roll. going to give her a bonus of 1 because she is frightened and very agitated. She only gets 1 and you got 2, so you managed to stop her. You probably, do you wrap your arms around her? Do you knock her down? What do you do?
I'll just hold her back from getting out the door.
And she cries out, "No, no, let me go! I must find Josephine."
About that, I'll talk to the priest. Listen, now is not the time. We all want the same thing. We all want this madness to stop. There's no need for this hostility.
Who is behind this? Who is doing this? Who would do such a thing?
In fact, at this time, I'm going to get the priest and tell him to look. There's a Satan amongst the crowd. I've seen him flash at me twice, and I'll point to Nils and tell him, perhaps in his drunken stupor, I can get him to just get the townspeople behind me on this so that I can take care of business here.
He says, "Niels, no, no."
Yes, he said he's going to revoke your drink. No more alcohol for you.
What?
Exactly. He's
Oh.
evil.
Because you called upon that, it's an automatic success. He comes out, "Niels! Niels!" And he looks out and he sees Niels standing there. "You dirty soul, you... What have you done?" He's like, I've done nothing. I'm here in support of the village. "Niels, you'll not be putting a stop to the drink, will you?" And the people kind of look around. Yeah. And they all nod their heads. They're like, "No, this is good for business," he cries out. "I want everyone to come to my hotel, not this one." And you maybe get a sense that perhaps he is motivated by greed, as the priest rebukes him. The other sister runs out of the door looking for Josephine. Like, it cannot be true.
Listen, guys, Josephine is dead. We can't be looking for her right now.
She is not 2 steps out the door. Then you hear
No.
a loud kind of squealing cry, and you hear a loud slam as something slams up against the side of the hotel. The entire hotel shudders for a moment.
Franz, we need you with your rifle now, please.
I will come darting back as fast as I can.
You dart back, you go out the back door, and right next to the back door, the body of this sister is smeared all along the side of the building.
I tried to warn her. I tried.
Blood everywhere. Her legs are broken in 6 or 7 different places,
Nice.
and she has been completely gutted, and her guts lie in a steaming pile on the ground. Her hand still twitches slightly, as there's still enough blood in her brain to render some form of consciousness, and she gasps, her mouth moving, but she cannot speak because her lungs have been so severely damaged. She can't get enough air out to activate her vocal cords. But as she dies, her hand kind of falls in a certain direction. Perhaps it's the direction that this terrible beast went.
Well, we should follow after. I've taken care of the mob. I've got the priest to handle that, but perhaps we should chase after this beast once and for all, Imogen.
Great. And I'll tell the remaining sister, just stay here, don't leave, don't go outside. We will take care of this. Understand?
Very well. So the 2 of you go after, try and follow the tracks and find the sow. You can hear it crashing through the woods and the underbrush, and you can see little bits of, like, even with the clouds and the fog coming in, little bits of dark smoke and sparks here and there as it's rampaging around through the woods behind the inn. It's going to be a pretty easy job to track this. Go ahead and give me an observation roll.
Both of us?
Both of you. Or if one of you wants to help, you could.
Oh, well, you should have said.
You guys are too fast for me. You could also do a vigilance roll. If one of you did observation, the other can do vigilance.
I will do a vigilance roll. I'm much better.
It takes you some time. You follow the tracks, and the tracks take you through much of the area. Let me bring you to this map. So here on the map you can see at the kind of the lower end, here's the village of Mulla. This is what's known as the hill, this entire kind of volcanic landscape. Here's all these caves and crevasses all along every side, and the finger kind of comes out along what's called the Italian road, an old Roman road, out to the very tip where you see the lighthouse. And even now, as you look out, you can see the lighthouse off in the distance as the storm rolls in, and it is a lone beacon out here in the darkness, and the path seems to take you towards the lighthouse.
Well, I believe that is where we need to go.
As you follow the path for some time, eventually it veers off to the left, about maybe a kilometer from the lighthouse. Veers down into one of the many crevasses, and it looks like you can see it leading into a cave. In fact, as you peek down, you can hear this kind of soft, quiet grunting. It's echoey in here, and with the thunder, it's kind of hard to tell, and the wind lashing in your ears, but it sounds like there's grunting, snorting sounds coming from down in one of those many caves. Do you want to try and work your way down to that cave?
I think so, yes. Although we should be very careful. This beast is not to be trifled with.
It's going to take a force roll from whoever is going down first, and a vigilance roll from whoever is helping them to get down. So we'll do the vigilance roll first. Who wants to go down
much better
first?
At force.
So maybe you can do the vigilance roll.
I'm not very good at either, but I'll do vigilance. Drat. Foiled again.
You can't push that because you'll be broken if you push that. And so technically you could push it and break yourself, but you probably don't want to do that.
Yeah, no thanks.
So then go ahead and make a force roll with no bonuses. I was just about to say you need 2 successes, and you got it. So you managed to work your way down. It's pretty treacherous. You're unsure if you can make it. You can try. Or you can stay up here and let him go down and explore.
What do you think? Do you think you need my help?
Oh, Imogen, you stay up there and stay safe and point out. Keep a weather's eye open.
Sure. I guess I'll stay up here.
Okay, so you stay up there, and it's bad weather, but you're kind of keeping an eye out because what if this thing like doubles back, sort of thing. Franz, you make it down to a cave, and I'm just going to bring you both here, but inside the cave you find a strange drawing on the ground done in chalk. There's a human skull, candles set about, and it looks like the remains of some sort of broken cage. Wooden slats that look large enough that could possibly hold like man-sized or larger sort of creature in there. There is rope inside that cage as well. What do you do?
Well, do I see any signs of the beast, or perhaps my suspicions are Franz? No, excuse me, not Franz.
Of yourself?
No,
Aha!
Nils.
I did it.
Nils might be the perpetrator here.
Yeah, go ahead and make an observation roll. Do you want to push that roll?
No, I don't.
Yeah, this looks to be, perhaps this is where those sisters of Satan were, casting their spells or whatever they were doing in here. The cage makes no sense. This is something occultish. This would be something more for Imogen. She would probably do much better understanding this. You could try and get her down.
I will call up Imogen. There seems to be something that might be of interest to you down here.
As you leave the cave and go to call her, you come face to face with this.
Oh.
A great shaggy sow with huge tusks, smoldering flames coming from its legs, smoke pouring off of its hide. You see razor sharp bristly hair on its back. Its eyes look wise. This is no normal animal, no creature of the animal kingdom. This is a supernatural Vaesen. You recognize this as a Vaesen. It looks at you and kind of snorts a few times and scrapes its front hoof or its trotter on the ground, and it's going to charge you.
Well, that's not good. Perhaps if I step back into the ritual circle. I do know that sometimes the demons that have been conjured can't enter the circle itself.
The beast will go first. It will try to charge and eviscerate. You may dodge or parry if you like. Oh, that didn't do it. Let's try that again. Lucky you, it got no successes. As it's charging, what do you do? So you step into the circle?
Yes, perhaps that will stop it.
It seems to be unaffected by
Well,
that.
I'm going to, as it passes by and perhaps begin to turn around for another charge, I'm going to level my rifle and shoot it between the eyes.
It's pretty close. So normally with your rifle, it's like, I think, range 1 to 3. And so if it's like, one would have to be kind of in the next room. I'm going to say because it's a long cave that you do have a chance to get off one shot, but then after this it's going to be too close for firing. But you can go ahead and fire at this beast.
Well, and perhaps I'm going to move a little bit first. I'm going to be making for the entrance. I want to try and climb up on the cliff so that it can't get at me, but I can shoot it still.
Okay, so maybe as it runs towards you, and you dodge out of the way, or it sidestep it, and you begin running for the cave entrance, unslinging your rifle off of your shoulder. And then you turn and fire at it. It is dark in there. You'll have a -1 penalty to get it, but you can see like the flames on its backside and hooves, so it's still doable.
And I will use my bonus.
Yep, you get your +2 bonus. Go ahead and take a shot. Oh, excellent. So you got. No, so what you should have done is clicked on your weapon, not just ranged combat. So if we look at your weapon, if it will let me select you. See, now it won't.
I could roll my rifle if you like.
Hang on, let me just look at your character sheet. So if you did your rifle, it will do. I think it even gives you a bonus. So it would have given you a bonus of 2 dice. So roll 2 more dice. And those were not 6s. So you got 2 successes. So the first one does 2 damage. The second success will do 1 additional point of damage. Is that what you want to do?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. So creatures are Vaesen are a little different from normal creatures. So it will. I forget if it has armor. Protection 4. So the bullet strikes it in that razor sharp hide, and you hear a ping as it actually ricochets off of the razor sharp hair on bristles on the back of the boar's hide, and it just seems to enrage it further, and it lets out a loud squealing cry and begins to lumber towards you, gathering speed.
Well, Imogen, I think we're going to need to leave this town to its bane here, as there's no way to kill it.
And you know that most Vaesen cannot be just killed outright, that there's something else you have to do, like with the Church Grim in the previous adventure. You know that you couldn't just go kill the Grim, you had to find its remains and burn them in order to get rid of the Grim. So this is not as simple as just shooting this thing dead. This is a Vaesen, not just a big pig. Imogen, what are you doing while this is happening before you hear the gunshot?
Well, let's see. While I'm up here, maybe I would like to do maybe a tarot reading to see how this is gonna go for us.
Excellent. So while you're up here, you're like, I don't know how I can help. Maybe this is how I can help.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a scene here. This is the tarot reading. Now don't click on anything just yet.
Okay.
There are 3 cards. You will draw 3 tarot cards. And you'll start from the left and go to the right. And so what you can do is you can come down, you can double click on the first card. And this is the first card in the reading. As you ask yourself, what is going on? Who is responsible? How can we put an end to this? Draw the first card. And you'll double click it. Did it work for you?
It does not appear to be working.
Okay. Well, let me double click it.
Okay.
So did that change for you on your screen as well?
Yes.
Yes, it did. Okay, so I need to correct that. But this is how it would work.
Mm-hmm.
So the first card you draw is the Hermit. Now, not only do you see the image, but also in your journal, I've added a journal that is called Psychic Readings, and it just put a listing in here. The first card was the Hermit, a lone figure staring out into the wild. He or she rests upon a staff and shines a light out into the darkness. What could this mean?
That makes me think of the lighthouse keeper, perhaps.
And why is that?
Well, that shining light out of the darkness just kind of makes me think of that. Also a solitary figure.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps that could be the lighthouse keeper.
Yeah. And then, if you like, you can draw the second card. I'll click on that for you. Try double-clicking that. Does it not work?
Well, it's not working
Okay.
for me.
Well, I can double-click it, but that should change it on your screen.
Yes.
Yes. And do you see the large image of the card on your screen as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we're halfway there. So I'll fix that for next time. We will use this screen anytime you do a psychic reading. We'll come to this page.
Very cool.
So why don't you describe what you see on this card and what maybe it represents to you?
Well, I see a very large tower. I see, I think that's lightning striking the tower, and there looks like flames coming off, and also 2 figures jumping from the tower.
It almost looks like Franz and Imogen, doesn't it?
That is, okay, sure. That's an observation.
And then if we go to your psychic readings, it says, the second card is the Tower. This can often represent ruin and calamity, a fall from grace and a disastrous turn of events. But could it also mean something simpler? Perhaps it isn't a metaphor, but a clue. And then the last card, Judgment. The third card was Judgment. What could this mean? Is this a final judgment for the town of Mulla, or a final judgment for whomever is responsible for this?
Alright, so kind of the initial thoughts that are coming to me. The Hermit could represent the lighthouse keeper. Maybe he's the one who started all of this. The tower could be, it's kind of reminding me of the lighthouse itself. And Judgment, to me, I'm thinking that maybe he's going to get what's coming to him for causing all of this.
Or perhaps even the Night Sow is some form of judgment for the
Right,
town.
yes.
It could be interpreted many different ways, and I think you have made a fairly accurate determination, but time will tell. And as you then gather up your cards, you hear the gunshot and the squealing of the hog, and you hear Franz saying, "Let's get out of here," as he begins running out of the cave. So Franz, you've made it out of the cave. Now what do you do?
I'm going to begin to climb the cliff.
Give me a force roll. Oh yeah. You even had 2 dice on top of each other. You scramble up the cliff without much difficulty, and the sow comes out, stamping its feet, leaving little flaming footprints where it goes, and then it turns and trots down the shoreline towards the lighthouse.
Well, perhaps we should make haste to the lighthouse and warn the keeper. While I'm climbing, I will yell out to Imogen to get there before I can, for she's much faster.
All right. So I will start making my way to the lighthouse.
Okay. And he mentioned to warn the keeper. What do you think when he says that?
Well, it's making me think that maybe this the Night Sow is after the lighthouse keeper.
Is that what you...
That's not what I'm getting from the cards, but
Right.
from what Franz is telling me, that's maybe what he thinks.
Okay. So as you approach the lighthouse, the storm is worsening, and it is a very frightening time. Let's see, show players. You should see that. You see up on the hill, up by the door of the lighthouse, you see the man with his cane standing there, staring at you. As lightning flashes and backlights the lighthouse, you just see him standing stoic, almost as though he is casting judgment upon you. And then he turns and enters into the lighthouse. That is Magnus London. What do you do?
I will follow him into the lighthouse.
Okay, as you begin to tread along the path, it's wet with rain and ice and rather slick. Either give me a vigilance roll or a force roll.
Okay.
Force might be better because your vigilance, you've got some penalties because of your conditions.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, you managed to bring your ice skates, and you just skate right up the steps. As you are climbing those stone steps from the sea up towards the lighthouse, you see Magnus standing up at the very top. He's out on the railing, looking down, and he raises his cane up in the air just as lightning flashes, and you hear the squeal of the sow as it begins to get closer. And he points the cane down at you.
Oh.
And you hear the grunting, baying cry of the sow as it gets closer and closer. Franz, what are you doing?
I'm trying to catch up with Imogen.
Give me a force roll. She did quite well. She probably scrambled on up ahead. She's eager. After doing her reading, she has an inkling of maybe who's responsible for this.
Exactly.
You do get a success. In fact, I'm going to... because you got 3 successes,
Yeah.
so not only did you manage to get there without any difficulty and see what's going on, you can use a success to alleviate a condition. Tell me what 3 mental conditions you had.
I have angry, frightened, and hopeless.
So I think you have hope now. I think because of your reading. So go ahead and remove hopeless.
Wonderful.
And because you were so successful in that, you have hope that, maybe if we stop him, because it sure looked to you like he just controlled that.
Yeah,
Night Sow.
definitely.
Maybe you can put an end to this. Franz is doing his best to keep up. You can hear him kind of panting behind you. Wait up, wait up. as you scramble up, and you near the door of the lighthouse. And as that happens, there's a loud roar of thunder, and the Night Sow appears. This time it is fully enraged, and a battle may well ensue. Let's get this going here. Draw cards, and of course the Glossum will go first, because why wouldn't it? Target you. Bring up my little HUD. There we go. The Night Sow. What will it do? It is going to. It kind of stomps its hoof. Give me a vigilance roll. You need to beat 2 successes.
No.
No. So it stomps its hoof, and great worms wriggle up from the ground. Huge earthworms, about the size of a your wrist. Huge, pulpy, 3-4 inches in diameter worms crawl up through the ground at your feet and wrap around your legs.
Gross.
You feel as though you're pinned to the spot as the Night Sow just casually walks up, and you notice saliva dripping from its great fangs. You, Franz, recognize this as some form of enchantment. Franz, it is your turn.
Well, I'm going to try and charge up the stairs. Is the lighthouse keeper still out on the railing?
He is.
Yeah. And seeing as Imogen believes him to be the source of this evil, perhaps I'll take aim.
Has she said that? Because you came here like you were going to try and protect him.
Okay, I will yell out to him at this point. It's the lighthouse
I
keeper.
assume she would have told me while we were running here.
Okay. If you want to take a shot at the lighthouse keeper, let me just pull him onto the scene as well, just so I have him. I'll put him up here. And actually, I'm going to put you and the Night Sow up here, and Franz, you're down there.
Do I get a bonus die, seeing as how I see my companions in peril, and this shot is what counts?
I'm gonna say you get a bonus die because your companion's in peril. You get a bonus die because he's backlit by the lighthouse, but you get a penalty because of the storm, so that's just 1 bonus.
Oh, but perhaps the storm plays on my inner seamanship, and it reminds me of my background as a naval officer.
I will allow it. Let me...
I'll be pushing that roll.
Yeah.
That was terrible. 12 Ds and not 1. Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so you got 4 successes. So the first success will do damage. You can do additional damage, so do 2, 3, 4, 5 points of damage. He's going to try to dodge out of the way. And he got 2 successes, so he negates 2 of yours, so it will still do 3 damage. Tell me where you're shooting him.
In the chest, of course.
Right in the chest. Okay. Well, let's do it this way. This one.
Physically broken, perhaps.
That's the one I want. We're right there. That's the one I want. Thank you. He slumps forward, leaning against the railing, and kind of clutches at his chest, and give me an oracle die, Franz. On an even, he drops his cane. On an odd, he retains it. Just roll 1d6. He drops his cane. The cane falls from his hand. You see it falling down, twirling, and it lands with a clatter on the roof of the lighthouse, the first floor, and then rolls off the roof and clatters onto the stones at the ground. Imogene, your turn.
So does that perhaps break the enchantment?
It
then?
does not seem to break the enchantment, although the Night Sow was distracted and looked on with great interest at what had just happened.
And it is very close to me, right?
Oh yeah, it's super
Okay.
close.
So I will.
And you are pinned by those earthworm-looking things.
Right, but I can still use my knife to, like.
If you want to try and cut the earthworms away or stab the Night Sow?
Stab the Night Sow.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll.
And I forgot to mention, as I had just taken that shot, would I also have movement so I could start moving up towards this cane?
Yep. So I'll move you up. You get about on the same level with Imogene.
Really?
You want to push that roll?
Would you be broken if you did?
No, it'd be a physical condition.
Okay. Then yes, I will push that roll. Really? Okay then.
So take a physical condition. You are just, in fact, you are making contact with the Night Sow, but its thick hide is just so dense and so formidable that your blade is turned aside. And you stab and stab and stab, and you even see some sparks fly off from where your knife meets some of those razor sharp spines. And you think that perhaps some of that bristly hair is actually some sort of like razor sharp metal almost as this happens. The Night Sow. Oops, I did that wrong. Sorry, it's the Night Sow's turn. The Night Sow. Oh no, it was, sorry, that was the end. Yeah, so a new round of combat. So Imogene, you go first.
Okay.
Yeah, the Night Sow, he did the earthworms on you. So your turn.
Perhaps I'll try to cut away the earthworms.
Okay, go ahead and use your knife. Yes. So you manage to hack away at them. The first slice, they split open like a steamed sausage, and the innards just bulge and gush out like they were under pressure. The second slice, juice sprays up and spatters your arm. It's this thick, yellowy, bile-like juice. You begin hacking and cutting, and finally you just make a pulpy mass of chopped up earthworms at your feet, and you manage to wriggle your legs free. The sow looks at you, and you recognize in its eyes that it intends to utterly destroy you.
Okay.
You need to make a fear save.
Fear, and how do I do that?
So it's empathy or logic.
Okay.
You roll either one.
They're both the same, so. Wow. Okay.
Okay. You're going to be broken. You're going to take one more point of.
I only have 2 mental conditions right now.
Oh, okay. Then you're not broken.
Yeah.
So
I think I healed one of them during something. I don't remember, but.
So you will take a third
Okay.
mental condition.
Very
That's right.
close to
Because
being broken,
you did
but-
take a physical one.
Yeah.
That's right. So you are not broken, but you're hopeless again. Like, you know, man, I could not pierce his hide with my blade, but you are free. Do you want to try and move?
Yes, I will.
Where are you moving? And you can move your figure on the map if you like.
All right.
Just hold it down and drag it.
I'll move. Oh. Let's see.
Try and get in the lighthouse.
Yeah, I'll move a little bit up here.
Okay. So you are up kind of close to where his cane landed, and you see it on the ground, and the image of the hermit holding the staff, and you realize that this staff must be a key component here. Franz, your turn.
Well, I would like to first run up and grab this staff and see if it will let me command this pig.
Give me a force roll or an agility roll to move up there. Do you want to push that?
Yes, I will push it.
No. So you slip. You slip in some of the wet patches, and you're scrambling up the hill. You do manage to move up, but not quite enough to get to the staff. We'll just move you up a little bit, but you're close. Next turn, you'll be able to get there. The Night Sow is going to charge at Imogene.
Okay.
And it is going to unload on you. It's not wrestle. Oh, there it is. Bite. That's the one. It's going to try to bite you. Okay. You can make a... You haven't done your free action, or your slow action. No, sorry, your fast action. So you can try to dodge, or you can try to parry with your knife, if you like.
I'll just try to dodge this.
Okay, so go ahead and make a dodge roll. It's on the combat page, maybe.
Not seeing.
You see it?
Dodge.
I can do it for you from here.
Because I'm not seeing
it looks like it's agility. So let me just open your character sheet. Let's see where it's at. So it's just an agility roll.
Okay.
If you go to combat, I don't think it's on combat. No. Yeah. So just make an agility roll. 2 successes. So by the skin of your teeth, you manage to avoid this bite, and the tusk actually catches on your dress. And as it thrashes its head, it rips through your dress, and you know that could have been your skin and flesh just as easily tearing under the bite of that great hog.
Yikes.
The hog goes first. It's going after Imogene.
Okay.
It will attempt another bite. You can try to dodge again. Do you want to dodge?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So he got 2 successes, and you only got 1.
Yeah.
So you reduce his 2 successes into a single success. However, his bite does 2 damage, so you'll take 2 physical conditions.
Oh no. If I take one more condition in anything, I'm going to be broken.
So you are battered and wounded. Imogene, your turn.
I'm gonna try to run up and enter the lighthouse.
Okay. Give me an agility roll or a force roll.
I'll do. Let me see. I'll do. Okay. You scramble, but it's hard because you are wounded. Yeah.
In fact, this last bite has left a huge gash on your leg, and you are weeping blood out of your leg. And he probably hasn't brushed his teeth in a while. And he's
Right.
probably going to get infected.
Mm-hmm.
You scramble up, and you make it to near the lighthouse door, but you're not quite able to get there. It's slick and slow going, and your leg feels like it's just going to give out. But maybe next turn you can get there. Franz, you can get to that staff or the cane on this turn if you choose.
Yes, I will grab that and attempt to banish the beast, or at least control it.
Okay, you pick up the staff, and it does not feel like wood. It feels like it is a living thing. What do you do with it?
I will point it at the hog and banish it.
So do you just say be gone, or?
I will use all of my mental ability and my knowledge gained through the site to try and put this hog at ease and tell it to go. It's no longer needed.
Give me maybe a logic roll. I think probably sounds good. Give me a logic roll. You think that this will probably work. And what exactly do you say?
Well, I'm just going to tell the hog that I am its master now, and that it's no longer needed, that it can be at ease and it can go, that punishment has been dealt with, and that it's no longer required.
The hog snarls, turns itself in a circle a few times, lets out a baleful cry, almost a cry of sadness, like it hates that it is beholden to you, but it cannot resist the command, and it trots off towards the caves from whence it came. You, standing here with the staff, you can feel kind of hot rain trickling down upon you, and you look up, and it's not rain, but it's blood coming down from Magnus as he's leaning over the rail, and blood has now trickled down his arm, falling off his hand down upon you like hot rain.
I will yell out to Imogen to see if we can go and provide any medical assistance that he might live. Probably it was a glancing blow.
You notice that as the blood begins to fall upon you, you look up and you see him getting more and more pale. The storm is beginning to lessen around you as well. You make it up the lighthouse steps.
I'm going to tuck this staff away.
You make it up the lighthouse steps, up to the top, and you see him just kind of hanging over the railing. It looks as though he has not moved since the time that you shot him. Do one of you want to make a medicine check on him?
I'm decent at medicine. If Imogen wanted to assist me...
I suppose I could assist you.
Seeing as the beast has been dealt with, I will push that.
Okay.
Okay. You manage to pull him off of the railing. There is no heartbeat. There is no breathing, and you know he is dead.
Push that for nothing.
Well, okay. You did push it. He was going to be dead, but I'll tell you what. Since you got 3 successes, he is almost dead, and he is gasping and just ragged breathing. He's drifting in and out of consciousness. He kind of looks at you, and you can tell he's seeing right through you. He's got but moments to live. What do you have any final questions or say anything to him?
I'll just ask him what was this whole hog business. Perhaps if you do this, I won't give you a bad name to be remembered by, but rather I'll tell them that you helped.
He kind of sputters and coughs up frothy blood and says, "My family has protected the hill for generations. These women came into town bringing darkness and invoking the wrath of Satan. I used the old ways. I took Katarina Johnson, who owned the hotel, prisoner, unless she would evict these girls from the hotel. I was wrong to do it, but I had to protect the town. But those witches, they worked their magic, and something happened. Katarina was turned into that glosson that you saw. I wish to repent of what I have done. Save Katarina. And save the village. And his eyes kind of look down towards the staff at your belt, and his hand reaches out almost to try and grab it. Its power is only useful here on the hill. It cannot be controlled elsewhere. Destroy. And he dies.
Well, it seems we have to do something here, perhaps destroying this staff. Or it could have been something else. I don't want to destroy the staff and find out it was important later on.
Well, my thoughts go to destroying the staff. So I think that's what we need to do.
Very well. And one sailor to another, I'll give him a burial at sea and slide him into the water, that he might die in the sea.
Just throw him off the lighthouse and it gets...
Well, you'd have to drag him.
Yeah, I'll drag him out.
Yeah, you'd have to drag him out. He's got blankets in here. You could wrap him in a blanket. Maybe put some stones in there, stitch it up like sailors would do.
Yes.
That's going to take some time. Before you do that, are you destroying the staff?
Yes, I will give the staff to Imogen. She's better with this sort of thing.
Give me a force roll to try and break the staff.
With my help, I'll hold one side.
Okay. Okay then.
It's and this is a magical staff. It's pretty tough. You can push it. It will physically break you, I think. Do you have 3?
I'll say Imogen. Is it simply that it needs to be broken? Is that it?
Tell you what. This will be kind of cool. I'm going to let you break the staff, but it's going to break you mentally. So you will take a critical, which can give you a defect or an insight, which can actually be pretty cool.
Okay.
This won't be the end of you because you're safe and he'll be able to give you care. But I'm going to say in exchange for breaking yourself, you want to break yourself physically or mentally to destroy the staff.
I'll do mentally.
Mentally.
That sounds cooler, I guess.
Okay, so there is, I believe it's on your character sheet. Let me look it up. If you go to your sheet, under your conditions, you're going to do mental. If you click on this, oh no, that's it might be that one. Let me see what happens when we click on that. No, that's not it. Okay, I need.
Do I just click broken?
I think it might be this one. Let's take a look. 22. There's a chart. Let me look up the chart. Mental critical injuries. And okay, this is not what I want. Let's see. Well, I want to roll this chart. Let me find it real quick, because we'll roll on it. It'll actually be pretty cool. Because we've not done this before, so this will be something kind of fun to do. Let me grab it. Where are we at here? Where is it? Core game. Conflict and injury. Critical injuries. Let's see, mental critical injuries. Okay, you got a 22.
Mm-hmm.
Frozen facial muscles. So your face, you have a mask of terror on your face. This is not chronic, so it will not linger, but you have like a grimace. Maybe it's like a nervous tick. I kind of like that. Like, you know, your face kind of twitches every now and then
Okay.
because of nerves. If we look at this, we can kind of read up on here. So even if you receive treatment and you're no longer broken, which he would be able to help you, we'll make a roll for that, but he'll be able to help you. It just affects you for the rest of the mystery, but we're pretty much done. And then the table states whether you have acquired a defect or an insight. This is a defect. When you return to your headquarters, you must determine whether your defect becomes permanent. And so then there's rules for that, defects and insights. So it's with a recovery roll, and that's the little box that was on there. So if you fail, then that facial tic will become permanent. And they can never be removed, so you'll have that, but that's just kind of a little personality thing that you'll have. So for a mental one, you will roll a number of dice equal to your combined logic and empathy. Every success heals a defect, and so you'll just need to get one success. So to help you from being broken, though, I'm going to have Franz treat a critical injury. So he's going to treat you with inspiration, which is for a mental breakdown. So give me an inspiration roll. Okay, so he doesn't talk you through it, so it's...
If it's medicine, I could do quite well.
Yeah, and that would be for physical damage. But for inspiration, so he's like, oh, chin up there, lass.
Well, actually, I mentioned I could use medicine. I am a doctor of psychiatry. And
Oh, really?
Anyway, so, but you managed to break the staff. And in doing so, as it breaks, you hear a loud squealing cry of a hog that as it begins to drown out becomes the squealing cry of a woman. And it's coming from just down, kind of between where that cave where you first found the Night Sow and the lighthouse. We'll do a little bit of an epilogue. You go down there, and it is Katarina Johnson. It is the woman that owned the hotel. And she is traumatized, as you could imagine, having become this terrible sow and having to kill and eat the entrails of people, particularly some of the people that were her friends. This was some weird, horrible curse that Magnus put upon her. Was it entirely Magnus? Probably not. He didn't intend for that to happen. But the combination of Magnus and those sisters of Satan working whatever magic they were trying to do caused this Vaesen to form out of her body. But you have put that to rest. You have rid the town of Mulla of this. Let me just read you the aftermath here. You have earned Katerina's eternal gratitude and will always be welcome at the Mulla Seaside Hotel. You will not be suspected of murdering Olga and her fellow sisters of Satan, and you are free to return to Uppsala. Should we do a little experience, or is there anything else you want to do in Mulla?
No, I'm quite ready for my own bed and breakfast.
Me as well.
Okay, well let's look up the. That's not what I want. Let's just look up the questions for experience points that you will need. I don't remember where it's at. Let's see. Under advancement? Nope. Let me grab the book. I got the book handy right here. We'll look this up. So I know the first question... Well, actually, before we get to the questions, why don't you give me, Imogen, tell me what you thought of this adventure.
Well, I really enjoyed I thought from the overall adventure, I enjoyed the character of the lighthouse keeper. I thought his role was very cool, and with the controlling the lightning and the hog and such with the staff. And the staff having to be destroyed, I liked the ending of that. So, I think that would be my favorite part.
Okay, how about you, Franz?
Well, I definitely enjoyed the opportunity to rid this town of a malicious Vaesen and to protect the people of the town. I also enjoyed availing my companions with tales of my past seamanship adventures and whatnot. Definitely a fun adventure.
Definitely.
Why don't we do that recovery roll Imogene. So if you want to go to your character sheet,
Okay.
and then down here under conditions, you can click on since you are broken.
And with a bonus, because the whole time her good friend Franz will avail her with tales of his time at sea, which is
Wonderful.
only a bonus that would serve to heal any mental conditions. Wouldn't you agree?
I do agree.
All right. So if you want to, do you want to do that roll, or do you want me to do it for you?
What am I rolling?
Okay. So on your character sheet, under conditions, under mental, there's a little box. This is your recovery roll. This
Okay.
is your logic and empathy combined. And you
Does
just-
that bonus apply?
No. Nice try. And you got a success. So it is not a permanent defect, so that that goes away. And why am I struggling to find the questions? The book is not well organized. I'll just leave it at that. Here we are. Questions for experience points, page 25. Okay, so for you both, did you participate in the session?
Yes.
Yes. So you each get 1. Did you confront a Vaesen?
Yes.
Yes. You each get 2. Did you identify a previously unknown Vaesen?
Yes.
Yes. Were you affected by your dark secret?
I mean, I was a little bit.
I was a little bit as well.
How were you affected as a...
Well,
with what yours is?
I fought a creature by the sea, therefore sea creature, and it was quite traumatizing.
I'm going to say no.
It's pretty close, and there was also an evil mariner, and well, that could be quite. That could remind me of my days where I was.
Your dark secret has to do with you shirking your duties.
No, that's my. I was going off my trauma.
Yeah. So your dark secret's different. So I would say yes for Imogene, no for Franz. Did you take risks to protect other people? Yes for Franz, probably no for Imogene. Have you learned anything, and if so, what?
Well, let's see. I learned. No, I'm not sure.
I learned how to. I learned the components involved with summoning one of these Night Sows, and I now know how they are controlled, usually by some sort of memento of sorts.
I think possibly you did learn that this was not like the Sisters of Satan did not intend for this to happen, nor did Magnus, but somehow the two of them, one person's intent, the other person's intent caused this. So you know that it was not just one person, but it was kind of a happenstance occurrence. So I'm going to say yes, you did learn that it's not always ill intent that causes these Vaesen to act up. Sometimes it's just coincidence. Did you perform an extraordinary action?
I did scale a sea cliff to face a giant hog.
It wasn't extraordinary. That was difficult, but I'm going to say that's not extraordinary. I think you each get 5 XP, but it takes 5 XP to raise a skill. So you can raise a skill, or you can pick up a new talent. And the talent doesn't have to be under like your thing. It can be anything that you want for a talent. What would you like to do? Skill or talent? And if you want, I can pull up a list of the talents we can look at.
Yes, I'd like to see some of the talents.
All right, let's look at the talents, and you guys can choose what you want to do. So, talents. Let's see. Okay, so there's Bookworm. You get a +2 to learning when looking for clues in books or libraries. Erudite. You can pass a learning test to establish truths about places. You can kind of read that. Knowledge is reassuring. You ignore conditions when making learning tests. There is also Army Medic, Chief Physician, or Emergency Medicine. There is Bloodhound, for used when tracking. Herbalist, Marksman. In fact, I think you could have used that, Franz, but you didn't use your talent. The first turn when you attacked the Glossum.
Now that would have made much of a difference.
Right. Well, had you got 2 more successes, maybe you would have done 5 damage instead of 4 or 3. Conjuring tricks, Medium, strike fear, battle hardened, gentleman, or tactician. So tactician might be useful for you, Franz.
Yes, maybe perhaps I'll take tactician.
Let's see what else we've got, and I can add it to your thing. Absolution, blessing, confessor, eagle eye, elementary. So that I've kind of done that a little bit for you guys, or we're sort of doing that with the psychic readings as well. Be elementary, focused. There's loyal, tough as nails, robust, hobo tricks, suspicious, well-traveled, automatic writing, journalist, or wordsmith. There's also general talents, battle experience, brave, combat trained, contacts, coward. That's something Franz would do when wounded. You make someone else take the damage.
Oh, I would hardly say that. I'm always the one that gets in there.
Deceptive, dedicated, defensive, dual weapons, dynamiter, empathetic, escape artist, famous, fleet-footed, holy symbol, lightning reflexes, 9 lives, pet, pugilist, safety in numbers, sixth sense, sprinter, the Lord Shepherd, or wealthy.
I think sixth sense.
Sixth sense?
Yeah, that is
you want that
appealing
one?
to me.
Okay, so I think I can do this for you. If I pull you up here, and let me move you over, let me move this over, and then I think if I take, I need to move it over a little bit more, sixth sense, I think if I drag it onto your character sheet, I think that shows up now in your talents. Yes, it does.
Awesome.
So you've got that one. What about you, Franz?
The officer talents. What were they again?
We can go back up and look. Officers, talents. Battle hardened, gentleman, and tactician. Sorry. Roll up. There we go. Or you could just advance a skill by 1 point. Or you could hold on to your points and not spend them.
I think I will take perhaps tactician. That might be useful.
Let me pull you up here. And let me grab tactician. Drag it over to your character sheet. And now that should show up under your talents. Yes, it does. And you just need to remember what your talents are so that... we'll click on both of these talents. That should show up in the journal now. We can kind of read what the talents are. So your talents are gentleman,
Which doesn't come to play too often.
yeah. But if it ever, and that's just, it wouldn't automatically do that with Foundry. You would have to remember that. Or the tactician one, that's a nice one. If you get an extra success, you, rather than doing like an extra damage, you could issue an order to Imogene to do something that would cost one of your successes, and she would get a +2. And that doesn't have to be like attack this; it could be like flee or go grab that thing, or get help, whatever. She would get a bonus on that. So very well, excellent, well done. Let's go ahead and. Are we missing something?
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go ahead and just kind of wind this up. I want to thank everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment. We are having a lot of fun with playing Vaesen. The next Vaesen mystery we will do will probably be the only one we haven't done yet from the Wicked Secret book, which is Tales of the Silver Sea, I think, or what was it called? the Silver of the Sea. That's the one. We will likely do that one next. We've got some more Dragonbane coming up. We're getting ready to do some Old Gods of Appalachia. Be sure to keep an eye on the channel for what we've got coming up. I'm going to let Franz and Imogene kind of have the last word, and just go ahead and say anything you want to say. The time is yours. Go ahead and let's hear it.
Well, thanks for joining us, and I hope to be playing with you again next time.
Yes, it was very fun playing. I look forward to our next adventure.